You must build belief. You must build confidence. They can't even enjoy their life now. And I had to invent this person. David Goggins is an introverted, soft kid that got beat up growing up, and mindset had to lie to create friends, to get friends, to be accepted. Sometimes all the voices are telling you the wrong shit, man. But through years, not a podcast or listening to a book or reading a book, years of sacrifice, of suffering, of diligent, pinpoint fucking work on what you want to do for yourself. Not like, oh, let me just do a bunch of shit. I want to be in every task possible. No. Pinpoint what I want to do with my life. What happens is you have all these voices that are telling you you're fucked up and this is going to be hard. But for some reason, you put so much practice into you that you can ignore every one of them that are telling you you're not going to fucking make it and still be able to fucking make it. If you sit in failure for too long, you will never come out of it. So the first part of my success was learning how to fail properly. You have no fucking idea how great you really are because you are using such minimal of what you have. It became a way of living. So how I do every day is how I do every day. It's a discipline. It's a regimen. It was a choice I made. And the choice I made was, what are you willing to sacrifice and what are you willing to give up to find every bit of who you are as a human being? And I was willing to give up everything to do that. It takes that misunderstanding of people, and they'll never get it because they were never David Goggins. So that is what it takes for me to do what I do. It may take you something differently. So for me, everything has to be in the studying. Everything has to be into this. Everything has to be in everywhere I am. It has to be there. Me, focused where I am. But when you put that practice in, every day you lace them up, and I don't mean run. It's just a metaphor for life. When you lace them up, pretty soon you win. Pretty soon you'll win. If you have the courage and the heart and the dedication and the mindset about everybody can go themselves, the heck is gonna suck. And that's what I realized. Life, that's why I wanted to come on here today. I didn't want to come on here and talk about no passion and purpose and how to get out of bed and how to hit an alarm clock and all this catchphrase bullshit. Because that wasn't how I lived. I woke up like every human being does and go, man, I'm a piece of shit today. How the hell is this going to work out for me? And you fight that. You don't override it. There's no override button. It's the conversation in your head. So how do you do that? We don't have enough of these conversations about the real conversation that every human being is having. And they have no idea how to get out of it, but they do. It's that shit right there, man. You gotta build your will. Most people are missing something because they don't know who they are. They never examine themselves. They've never done this experiment on themselves. The lab rat, we're all lab rats, but you're also the scientist. You create your own self. Most people are missing something because there's so much trapped in there. I don't even want to say potential. I think that's word used out too much too. There's so much in you that God or wherever the hell you believe in, or if you're an atheist, in you that you have not unlocked. That you walk around with this gorgeous wife or great husband and all this money. You're like, God, I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, because it's about 75% of you is still in there. Still chained up because you just didn't want to find your willpower. Didn't want to find your soul, your will, your heart, your determination, your guts, your courage. And what that looks like, it looks scary. Like your little scary lab I went in. Scary.
You finally realized the world programmed you to chase things that don't matter, to scroll instead of build, to party instead of plan, to fake it instead of face it.
You're probably an underachiever. You're probably somebody who doesn't want to do anything with your life. I'm not going back. And I went back. I'm not going back, and I went back. I'm not going back, and I went back.
And then there's that voice, that other voice, the one that says, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Get off the couch. Put down the phone. Quit pretending. You think you need a mentor? You think you need a morning routine or some life hack? No. You need a war plan. You need a mirror. You need to hear yourself say out loud, I've become soft, lazy, undisciplined, and I'm the problem. That's where it begins. Because if you're waiting for a savior, someone to hold your hand, that person ain't coming. No one's bringing you discipline. No one's installing belief in your system. If you've ever been at rock bottom, wiping your own ass with shame, begging life to throw you a break,
you have a choice to make. Do you want to sit down and go back to that guy you once were? No. So this is what it takes. Failure is the ultimate thing, man. I failed so many times before. That's why I don't look at failure anymore as failure. I look at it as my first, second, and third attempt.
But here's the goddamn truth. Quitting will fix it. You think you're the only one who feels broken? You think you're the only one who's tired, lost, ready to throw in the towel?
It showed me even more of what we have as humans, if we're willing to go there and we're willing to push that extra step. Because you have put the practice in that you know this is the process. It's such a daunting task that all the voices are saying no. But you still have the conviction that I know I can do this. And that's what it took for me to get here.
They made mediocrity look cool and discipline look crazy. They sold you the idea that being liked was better than being great.
It's the worst pain I can't even describe the pain of that last 30 miles to anybody. And I'm laying there in the worst pain of my entire life. I'm shaking, I'm jacked up.
You already know what to do. You've known it for years. But comfort's got you by the throat. Every excuse, every lie you whisper to yourself, it's all the same trap.
Take time. Take that 1 second to pull back and study them. Because most people who are in good places, they don't care about what you're doing. They don't care about what you're doing. They don't try to destroy you. They actually will try to build you up versus destroy who you are as a person. So that's where I'm at now in life, is most people who do that, they're in a very dark, dark place. Why people fall off the wagon so often is because their mind is full of shit. There's no room in that mind for discipline. There's no room for consistency. They may do it once or twice, but then the mind takes over and that cluttered garage comes in. And then it's like a circuit breaker, man. A circuit breaker just overloads and fucking sparks. And our minds, that's our mind, man. It's like a fucking circuit breaker that has so much shit in it. You keep on loading it. You can't put any more into it. So I talk about it in there, man, so much about clearing space in your fucking mind so then you have room for all those discipline, waking up early, taking those, because they do mean something. But we don't get to that fucking dark matter that is keeping you from clearing out that mental garage. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. And a lot of times you have to learn to perform without motivation. You have to learn to perform without purpose. You have to learn to perform a lot of different things. And that's what people think. They think I need to have this motivation to work out, to study, to be better. So if they don't have it, they just don't. And that's where you fail. You have to learn to train your mind well beyond motivation. If you have motivation, that's great. That's some kindling to the fire. All it takes is a little spark, you can burn a whole forest up. But motivation, you have to learn to exist without it. You have to learn to be, you have to be your best self when you're least motivated. And that's the tricky part about all that shit. Motivation is just a word. You have to have these different things in your mind on where you want to go and know that motivation is not going to get me there. Because I'm not going to always be motivated. Like for me, I came from a bad place. How I build belief is through the daunting tasks I put myself through. I'm no longer embarrassed. I'm no longer ashamed. Being ashamed is one of the biggest things that kill people nowadays. In their minds, kill them from moving forward. I'm ashamed of myself. Don't ever be ashamed of anything you've done in your life. Face it, fix it, make it better. We are humans. But then again, if you always think that we're humans, you will always just be a human and always make the same mistakes. You must take this knowledge that you learn from all this shit is knowledge. So I'm just trying to give people that strength to go in the archives of your life, because while you're probably up, there's probably something happened to you in your life. Go through the archives, dig it up, study it, and then use it for yourself. That's the main purpose for me right now. What's motivating you is the stories I'm telling you about what I did in my life. Once I stop living that, I'm no more. And it's hard. Nothing is easy. Nothing just like, oh, I wake up and I just do this or I do that, or it just, I watch people every day go through life, and it's so easy. For me to be where I'm at today, it takes every bit of me. So when I speak about it, and as I get going here, you'll start seeing me, the tempo will rise, the passion will come out, because I'm back there. I'm doing what I do every day to become a human being. So I take a lot of passion in who I am as a person. As you hear, as this podcast gets going and going and going, what you're gonna do is you're gonna transform me from this guy right now that's kind of chilled out in this room, David Goggins, to Goggins. So my life has really been about two people. Very scary, but two people. I had to invent a whole nother human being to get outside of my comfort zone. And that human being became Goggins. Goggins is like the guy that walks out of the phone booth. He's like that Superman that walks out of the phone booth. And I was talking to my fiance today about, it's kind of strange how sometimes I have a conversation between David Goggins, and Goggins will tell David Goggins about the shit he's done. And David Goggins like, what the hell, man? Why are you doing that? That's nuts. So it's kind of this battle between trying to find more of yourself, knowing that the real you is afraid, likes comfort, likes living in a world that is that likes to pat you on the back, give you the things that you want to hear, not the things that you have to hear to get better. So that's where all this kind of started from. And when people hear this podcast, they're going to hear a lot of things that they're going to want to put a title on me. They're going to definitely want to put a title on me to make themselves feel better. I asked them during this podcast, do not do that. Do not look at what you're going to hear. Put a title on me, because basically what you're doing is you're giving yourself a get out of jail free card. Exactly. That's all you're doing. So all you're doing is saying this guy was some super freak. He found some super thing in his brain that was locked up. He unleashed it and became this guy and lie. Because every day I wake up, I dread the day. I dread the day of what I'm going to bring on myself to get better. It's a difficult motherfucker where you're going to fail and you're going to be in your head. You're going to be saying, I'm not good enough. And you start to believe this shit, and it becomes in your fucking mind. Like there's people who are retiring, at 40 something years old or 30 something years old. At 40, you lose that fucking fight. You lose that. Why the fuck am I doing this shit? I'm good. You ain't good, man. You ain't never fucking arrived. And that's just my mentality. You may have more, but you never fucking arrived. You want to be uncommon amongst uncommon people. 20, 30 years ago, I had this 35 or whatever it was, 30 to 25 years ago, pipe dream. And ever since then, every voice was like, you're a fucking nut. But when you put that practice in, every day you lace them up, and I don't mean run. It's just a metaphor for life. When you lace them motherfuckers up every day, pretty soon you win. Pretty soon you'll fucking win. If you have the courage and the heart and the dedication and the mindset about everybody can go fuck themselves. I know what I know. I've listened to myself enough to know I know what I know. None of you can hear what I'm hearing. And that's what people don't do enough of. They don't listen to their journey. They listen to everybody else's shit. Before you know it, I'm crazy. But if I'm so fucking crazy, why am I so successful? How did that happen? I'm so misguided and fucked up and don't listen to him. Why am I the only one to do a whole bunch of shit? Why am I a trailblazer? Why? How is that possible? How can you be fucked up and also self-made the same? No. Obviously, you're not looking at the truth in front of you. The truth in front of you is it sucks. It's painful. It's fucking mind-numbing. And that is the truth. And that's why a lot of people don't like listening to me, because this is what it takes: creating another voice and sometimes going at it alone. All the time going at it alone, because no one's gonna believe in you. And that's that. To wake up every day and say, I'm stupid, but I want to figure out a way to be smarter. Versus saying, man, I just can't do that. So you limit this box. So your box becomes so small of things you can do. My box wasn't even a box. It was a little pinhole. And then through examining myself, getting some willpower, some courage, it became bigger than this table. But that's what we all do. That's why I wanted to come here today and talk to you about real shit. Why most people don't want to do that, build that willpower, is because it is scary. It unlocks a whole bunch of things about who you are and who you're not. And a lot of people don't want to go down that journey to discover who they are and who they're not. Because it's not a pretty journey. I mean, I've gone down it. It's not like I went down it once. I go down it all the time. And when you unlock that, and you can't just turn it off. Like people say, hey, well, how come you haven't retired yet? I built all this willpower. Do you think it's gonna let me just retire because my knees hurt? It's telling me every morning. I wake up like, man, my knees hurt, my legs hurt, my body hurts, but you can still run. So why aren't you running? If you
start putting yourself in situations that suck,
when you can't
you'll find
lace them up
yourself
anymore, but you can still
You'll find
run.
it real quick. It's the only way to find yourself.
So I still run.
You don't find yourself, if you like bench
When the time
pressing
comes, I
and you
can't
bench press
run,
all the
the
time, what
body
are you
will
finding out?
Say,
if you like
I
to
just can't
swim,
run.
that's all you
But
want to do is
still
swim.
do something.
What are you finding out?
That willpower that I have
Put that.
created,
People always.
it makes me do
people
it
talk about
every
triple down on your
day.
fucking strengths.
And that's what they
the
don't get.
fucking weakest
What
in the world.
builds a human being
Triple down on
is
your
you start
fucking
with the small
weaknesses.
building blocks.
Find
Before
out
you
something
know
about
it, you become
yourself.
something
You already
you-
know the good.
It doesn't
You already know
make
the
sense
happy
to
shit.
most people.
That's why
because it's just
on my
who you are
Facebook
now.
page, everybody goes, "Why
That's
don't you
why I
talk
can still
about
run
good
at
times?
50 with broke-
You know how to get
before
through
I
that,
broke down knees and broke down body. Because my body
You don't need
knows
you don't need no one to tell you how to
before
get through.
I
It's
do.
happy.
Right.
Second
That's
you
easy.
stop, the
I'm
willpower's
going to
gone.
tell you how
A lot of
you can
people
help
whose
yourself
brain-
get
hey,
through the
where's my
times
gun?
that suck.
Look,
Real life.
fucking throwing shit.
This is real
You're
life.
looking through tones
90% of your
off.
life will suck.
So where am I going to put
10%
discipline?
will be fucking happy.
in that mind.
You may
if
be
I
a lucky
can't
guy
find
and have a
other-
lot of fucking money, have a great ass
You
woman.
gotta
all
be
this-
able to find all
Trust
these
me.
different things in your
One-on-one with
mind.
that fucking guy,
Oh,
he's missing
I can
something.
put discipline.
His life
right
still
there.
sucks because he hasn't
I could put
faced something
consistency
that bothered
right
him his
there. I
whole
could put
fucking
all
life.
these things right there in
Something's
that
still
spot.
eating that mother.
So that's what I'm talking about.
Almost
If your
everybody.
life is
Everybody.
not organized,
Eating you the fuck up, but maybe
and
you
your
found a
life
good
being
way. How I did
everything
growing up
around you.
on how to ignore the
guys, it
voice that's
takes
saying
one little
you ain't facing
a
some
piece of an outside
period, man.
interference.
I'm not special.
to
I just
clutter your
stopped
whole
listening.
mind.
I listened to
And
that
people don't
voice.
get that. Your mind
And this is why I
has to
talk so
always be
fucking aggressive.
clear. That's why
people say,
I
man, do
meditate
you believe
2
in God?
hours
You cuss so
every
much.
single night.
When I say
Because I refresh, I
it's
reorganize
it's letting
the
you
garage,
know
which is my mind,
what I'm
every
thinking.
night. So
If
then
I try to make it all
discipline's in
pretty and
there,
that's not what my life
organization,
was.
Everything is
It was
in
a
its right spot.
violent,
So when I
violent
wake up, I'm ready to
struggle
go.
daily
black matter
to
of the
get where
mind.
I'm at today.
The
I'm not
dark
gonna water
matter,
it down.
You know, like Stephen
I'm not
Hawking.
gonna water it
That
down.
motherfucker
It wasn't
studied
fun.
space and shit.
It ain't fun today.
That's where I consider myself.
I'm
man.
happy. You know, I was on a journey, like, just like you said.
I was 24
mean, you couldn't have
years
said it any
old
better.
when I realized I was
And so many people
broken
get it wrong.
inside.
I don't give a man.
Something
you can't
had gone
for
numb
me.
in my soul.
I cannot help people.
that
There's a lot
numbness,
of cookie
that
cutter
lack
shit
of
out here in
deep
this
feeling
world. Oh,
dictated
discipline.
what my
Wake up
life
early.
had
Take a
become.
cold shower.
It's why I quit
this,
going after
that,
my goal,
whatever.
my biggest
It's all
dreams,
fucking
whenever
bullshit.
things got hard.
It's not.
Quitting
But what they don't
was
teach
just
you
another detour.
within the cookie
It
cutter.
never bothered me much.
It's like our minds
because
are like
when
a
you're
fucking
numb,
garage.
You can't process
And
what's happening.
the
to
garage,
you or
if you
within
open a garage and it's all
I
cluttered
didn't
up,
know
it's
the
all
power
fucked
of the
up,
mind
you
yet.
can't put your car in there.
And
you got
because of
boats
that,
and you got fucking
I had ballooned
kids'
into
toys
a
and shit
fat
everywhere.
ass
But
and
if you
taken a
organize
job
that
as
fucking
a
garage
cockroach sniper
and you
in
put everything in its
restaurants.
rightful spot,
I
you can
had
put
my
that car in there. You
excuses,
can put
of
2
course.
cars in there. You can put
My
bikes in there.
numbness was a
And
survival
that's like with the
mechanism.
mind. People talk
It had
about
been
discipline,
beaten into me
fucking
by my father.
determination.
By the time I
and,
turned 7,
you know,
I
repetitions
developed a
and all
POW
this
mindset.
consistency.
Going numb was how I took
You
my
know how people
beatings and
connect with
maintained
my
some
book so
level
well?
of self-respect.
For some reason, God put me in
Even
almost every situation
after
on the
my
planet
mother
Earth.
and I escaped,
So when I talk to people,
continued to be stalked
it's
by
not sugarcoated
tragedy
because
and
I'm not
failure.
saying it from
And
I
numbness
was
was how I
175 pounds my
coped
whole life.
with the fact that losing
I don't say
was
much to
all
those
I
people.
ever knew. When you're born a loser,
maybe you're a
your
piece of
goal
shit.
is to survive,
Maybe you
not
want to be
thrive.
Maybe
You
you're happy
learn to
exactly
lie,
where you are in life,
to
because
cheat,
obviously you are.
to do what it
Maybe
takes
you don't
to
have
fit
the
in.
determination to be somebody better than
You
who
may
are.
become a survivor,
And
but it's a
if
miserable
you want to live with
existence. Just like
I'll
the
support you in
cockroaches I
that.
was assigned to kill.
If you're good
you
with
find
being who
yourself
you are,
scurrying in
and every day
from
you
the
wake
shadows
up, and
to
every
claim
day
the
you
bare
smell like shit
necessities
because you can't
while
wash
hiding
your body
your
well.
true self
And your skin's
from the
messed
light
up because you
at
help
all
so
costs.
bad. And you
Born
can't put your
losers
clothes on,
are
right?
the
You need help with that.
ultimate
You need help, like,
cockroaches.
when I was doing, I need help wiping
We
my
do what we
ass.
have to, and that attitude
That makes you
often
feel
enables
good?
some pretty severe character
Nothing I can
defects.
say to you.
I certainly had
If
some.
every day you wake up with this,
I was a
see,
quitter,
people are haunted,
a liar, a fat,
but they
lazy
obviously
motherfucker.
like horror films.
And I was deeply depressed.
because they keep watching the same movie.
I could
don't
feel
like horror
myself
films.
unraveling a little
A
at a
lot
time.
of people like horror films.
Fed up
So I don't say
and
much to them.
frustrated,
I
bitter
say
and
exactly what I
angry.
said to you.
I couldn't
Right
take
there.
much more
Because
of
I
my
was once
sorry
you.
ass life. If
I
I didn't
didn't like horror
change
films, so I
and
changed
change
it.
soon,
Some people are
I
just,
knew I would die a loser.
they become, like you said,
worse.
it gets real small
I
when
might
you're
end up
lazy
like my
and you're
father,
fat.
the
your
hustler
will-
who was one quick twitch away
Your
from
will
violence.
is so small
I was
that they
consumed
don't have
by
any,
misery
and you can't give
and
it to them.
groping for some
There has
mental
to be
foothold
something. This is
to
what
keep
I'm
me from
talking
giving
about
up
now.
for good.
Because
The only thing I
this
could
isn't
come
a
up
hack.
with was to go
This
back
has
to
to
that
be
house
in
on
you.
Paradise Road that
Something
still
in
haunted
you
me.
has
I
to
had to
wake
get
up.
to Buffalo, New York, and look
And
my
usually
father in
the
the
only
eye.
person that can wake it up is you.
Because when you're living in hell,
Sometimes you can read a David Goggins
the only
book
way to
because I
find
was
your
all
way
this
out is
shit
to
and then a
confront
lot
the
more.
devil himself. I was hoping to
But if
find
you
some
don't have
answers that would help
a
me
little
change my
flame,
life.
you know, just
That was what I
barely
told myself
get
anyway.
done.
As I crossed
I
into
can't,
Ohio
I can't
from Indiana
light it for you.
and veered northeast,
And that's
I hadn't
the
seen
harsh
my old
reality
man
of
in
this
12
life
years.
that I want to get
It had
across.
been my
Fucking
decision
bad.
to stop seeing him.
You can watch me,
At
you
that
can watch
time,
you, you can watch
the court
Rogan,
system
Cameron
allowed
Hayes, all these
children
mother-
to
you can
make
go
those
to
decisions
Tony
once they
Robinson's
turned 12.
bullshit, all this
I
shit.
made that
You do all this
choice
shit.
mostly out of respect for
But you woke
and
up!
loyalty
You saw
to
through
my
it!
mom.
And now you're pissed
He'd
off!
stopped beating us
now you
after
want
we left
revenge!
Buffalo.
Not on
But
them,
the one thing
but
that
on the
never went
version of
numb
yourself
was how
that
I
let it
felt
happen.
about what my
This is
mother
your
endured at his
rebirth.
hands.
No more games!
Still,
no more acting!
over the years,
no more playing
I
weak
had
for their
questioned that
approval!
decision
You're not
and
here to be
began to
average!
wonder
You're
if
not
my
here to
memories,
blend in! You're
if
not
the
here to live
stories I
soft,
told
die
myself were
broke, and be
true.
forgotten! You're here to build, to
On the
fight,
long
to
drive,
lead! And it
I
all
didn't
starts
listen to music.
now!
All
Don't
I
you
heard
think
were the
that
competing
your
voices in my
happiness
head.
is probably
The first
elevated
voice
by
accepted me as I
the
was.
amount of pain that you've
It's
gone
not
through?
your fault,
100%.
David.
So the amount of
None of this
suffering
is
that you
your
understand, the amount of pain
You're
that you've
doing
gone
the best
through
you can
makes
with
you
what you've been
appreciate
given.
the happiness
That was
and
the
the
voice I've
beautiful
been listening
moments
to my
with
entire
much more
life.
intensity.
That's what weak
It's
people
not
miss
my
about
fault
my
was
story.
my favorite refrain.
Weak people hear this
Explained
soft
and
kid. Oh my God, he
justified
must
my
be
lot in
miserable. Oh
life
my God, what the
and
hell's
the
wrong with
dead-end
him?
path in
You're
life.
missing the fucking
And it
story.
played 24/7.
You're not listening to the story,
However,
man. Look
for
what
the
I
first
overcame.
time, another voice
If that
chimed
doesn't
in.
put some
Roger
badge of
that.
honor tattooed in your
It ain't
fucking
your
brain for the
fucking
rest of your
fault
life,
that you
you
were
can
dealt a
die
bad
today
hand.
talking to Joe Rogan.
But
You're
it
missing
is
the
your
story, man.
responsibility.
Am I happy? What
How
the do
long
you
will
think?
you allow your
Don't
past to hold you
misunderstand
back
the passion in which I
before you
speak
finally
for
take
not
control
being
of your
intensely
future?
happy. Happiest person in the world.
Compared
But
to the
I'm not
first,
done.
more nurturing
So I'm not going
voice
to
in my
speak to
head.
you like, oh man,
This one
everything
was
is great.
ice
No,
cold,
I have
and
a
I
lot
did
more
my
shit to
best
do.
to tune it out.
A lot more
The
shit to
closer
do.
I got to Buffalo, the younger and more
If
helpless
you,
I felt.
You could keep going back.
When I was
and keep
150
spending
miles
money
away,
and spending money and
I
spending money
felt
with no
like
results.
I was 16
you can wonder,
years
wow,
old.
maybe let me
As
go
I
try
pulled
out
off
David
the highway
Goggins.
and wound through
He
the
ain't gonna-
Buffalo City streets, I felt like
you
I was
have
8.
to explore,
The same age I was when we
examine
packed all
the
our shit into
insides
garbage
of yourself.
bags and walked
And
out
what
the
do
door.
you really want out of life?
Once I
Your
walked
friend,
into the
a lot of
house,
people out here
it was
just don't want
August
it.
1983,
So guess what?
all over again.
Have
The
fun with
paint
your
on
life.
the walls, the floors, the
Go from 3
appliances, and the
to
furniture,
350 to
all
400
of it
to
was the
450 to
same.
500.
While it looked a
Because
lot smaller
you don't want
and
it.
out of date, it was still
And that's the harsh
haunted
reality.
house
I can't
remembered,
give you shit.
filled with
You can't
years
give
of
them shit.
grisly
I can
memories
give you ideas.
and
At the end
palpable
of the day,
dark energy.
when I was losing the weight,
However, my father was warm
Here's how you
and more
unplug
affectionate
and
than I
upgrade.
remembered.
Step 1, control
Toughness
your
was
time.
always a
Every
charmer.
scroll is a chain.
He acted
Cut
genuinely
it.
happy
Step
to see
2,
me.
control your body.
As we
Train
caught
like
up,
your mind
I
depends
found
on it,
myself
because it
laughing at his
does.
jokes.
Step 3,
Slightly
control your mind.
confused by the
Read,
man in
think,
front of me.
question
After
everything.
a while, he checked
Step
his
4,
watch and grabbed his
create,
coat.
build,
He held the front
produce,
door open
make
for his
something
wife,
the world can't
Sue,
ignore.
and
Step
me
5,
as we
stay
headed for the
dangerous.
car.
Stay disciplined.
Where are we going?
Stay awake. The
I
Matrix
asked.
will try to pull you,
You
back
remember
with
the schedule?
comfort, with fear,
He said.
with fake
It's
love,
time to
with
open
quick
up.
hits of dopamine and
The
empty
first thing I noticed
validation.
about
But
Skateland
you,
from the
you're
outside
not falling for it
was that it
anymore
needed a
because
paint
now
job.
you're too sharp, too
Inside,
focused, too
the
far
floor
gone
and
to ever
walls
go
were
back to
chipped and
sleep.
stained,
This comeback
and
is
the
not
whole
just about
place
proving
smelled
them wrong.
funky.
It's about
The
proving
office
to
had
yourself
deteriorated,
that you were
too.
never meant
That
to live
sofa we
small.
slept on
You
as
were
kids,
built for
where my
war,
mom
for
caught him
impact,
cheating
for
on more than
greatness.
one
They
occasion,
kept you
still hadn't
sedated.
been
Now you're
replaced.
dangerous.
It was
Now you're
filthy as
moving.
hell.
Now you're locked
And that's
in.
where I
So
sat
get
after
up,
the
take your
grand tour,
pain, take
while
your
my
past,
father headed
take your
upstairs to spin
awakening, and
hip-hop
turn it
records
into
in the
power. The
Vermilion
Matrix
Room.
is real,
I felt
but so is
dizzy
your comeback.
and
Now go
disoriented.
break the system.
It was
One
strange how
unstoppable
far the
move
old
at a
man had let
time.
his standards slip.
I had to
He wasn't the
miserably
strong,
wake up
exacting,
every morning,
demanding
cold,
figure I
as it was
remember.
Indiana, November when it
He was
started.
old,
I was
weak,
miserable.
soft in the middle, and lazy.
This is your new
He didn't
life.
even appear to be that mean anymore. He
Take it or
wasn't the
leave it.
devil at all.
There's no
He was
happiness
human.
about it. There's no peace.
Had I been
behind
feeding myself a false
it.
history
It sucks.
as
It
I
just
lingered in that
sucks.
office, steep
that's
in the
the one
past,
thing
I
if I could
wondered
teach
what else
anybody
I'd been wrong about?
anything,
Then,
it just
at around 10
sucks.
o'clock, the boss
And it's
line
gonna continue
dropped
to suck.
upstairs and the
And then
ceiling
one day you
started
get
to
to
shudder
a
and
special
shake.
part in your life.
Within
that it
seconds,
might get a little bit
I
better.
heard
But to
hollering
lose,
laughter.
Wait, you had to lose, my friend.
And that steady stomping
Sorry.
to the beat.
It's
In
gonna
the
suck
same
every
way,
day.
a
'Cause
song
then
can
if
take
you're
you
in
back
balance, you're gonna go out
to a
to lose
distinct
weight,
time and place.
How to get injured.
That thumping bass
So then you
would
got to
turn me
work
to
on the
my
injury.
darkest
Then you
days.
get even more depressed. This is what I went through.
I'd been funneled
And then
into a relapse.
You're
of
hungry. Now
childhood
you're depressed.
nightmares.
It's just
I
a
closed
vicious
my eyes
cycle.
and saw myself
And if you're
as
not
a first
strong
grader,
mentally,
tossing
and you
and
have no
turning on
willpower,
that very couch,
you're going to
trying
continue
to
falling
sleep
back in this
after
hole
working all
versus the
night
man that sits
and
back
not
and
being
goes,
able
"All
to
right,
get more than a wink.
This is why I cuss, because this is
My
what is
mother
in
was
me.
there too,
This is what it took for
struggling
me to
to
be
paper over our
me.
pain with home-cooked
Sorry.
dinners
It didn't
prepared
take,
on portable
hey, okay, we're gonna
electric
do this together.
burners
No,
in a cramped
this
office.
really sucks.
I saw the
But this
helplessness
is in the same
and fear
use
in
of the
her
word that
eyes.
you used,
And it
the
brought back
warrior's
all the
mentality,
stress,
the warrior's
pain,
life.
Right.
frustration, and
This is the
depression that
way
came with it.
that you can
Those
keep
memories
balanced
were
and sane,
real. There was
Right.
no
and
denying
keep
it. I was
a good
disgusted
grip
to be
on who you
sitting on
are.
that couch.
Period. And like there's
I
a
was
quote that
sickened
was
to have
said.
let my
This guy
guard
said,
down and enjoyed my father's
going into
company,
combat, going into
even
war,
for a few
out of
minutes.
the 100
I felt
men
like
that
I
go
was
into
doing a
war,
disservice to
10
my
shouldn't
mother.
even fucking be there.
And the longer I sat
80
there
of
and
them
watched
are
the
just
ceiling
targets.
shake, the more
9 do
rage
most
rose
of
up
fighting.
inside, until
One
I
is
was
a
on my
warrior.
feet and racing up a back
And
stairwell
it's
into
a
the
true
Vermilion
quote
Room,
to life.
where my demon
I
was
saw it
slurping
going through
whiskey,
train. I
the
saw it
smoky
everywhere I
elixir
went.
that gave him his
There's
power.
so many people who just
As
show
a kid,
up to
I
life.
rarely
They
saw
shouldn't
the
even fucking be
space in
around.
full bloom.
And there's a
And
few
while
people
it
who
had
do all
lost
the work.
most
I
of
wanted to
its
be part of
shine,
that 9.
it was still
and
happening.
I'm working towards
What
being
was
that
once a
Too many
glitzy
of you waste
nightclub
energy
serving
worrying about
funk
what they're doing.
to a
What another
well-dressed
man is
crowd
building, what another
had
woman
become
is
a
saying,
packed
what your
dive
competitors
bar
posting,
flush
what your coworkers
with
lifting,
hip-hop.
what your friends
Toughness
selling.
was in the
You want to
DJ
win?
booth,
Worry about
orchestrating
your
the
own
energy,
shit. You want to get
spinning
good at
records,
business? Stop
and sucking
watching
down
them.
scotch
Start
after
building
scotch
you.
until
You want to
closing
get in
time.
shape? Stop counting
I
their
watched him
reps.
work,
Start
drink,
pushing past
and
yours.
flirt.
You think
And the
I
more
became a
wasted
leader
he
by
became,
gossiping in the back
the
room?
more my
No,
memory
I was
synced
too
with
damn busy
reality.
executing.
After
While they're
locking
talking,
up,
I'm dialing.
I drove us
I'm
all
learning.
to Denny's
I'm leveling
for an
up.
after
Stop
hours
asking how to win.
breakfast,
You
just
know
like
how.
old
You
times.
just don't do it.
More
Why?
than
Because it's
15
easier
years
to
had
blame,
passed,
easier
yet
to scroll,
the ritual
easier to hate,
remained the
easier to
same
watch
as
than to
ever.
work. But you
Toughness
can't
was
build an
sloppy as
empire
hell
off
by then.
excuses.
And he
When I
could
was
tell
going
it
through
made me
school,
uncomfortable.
I'll
which
never forget,
ticked
I
him
think I
off.
was in
While we waited
3rd
for
grade.
our food, he
And
glared at me
back
as he
then,
dissed my
you know,
grandparents
ADD,
and claimed they were
ADHD wasn't like,
responsible for the
you know,
breakup of his
here's
family.
his medicine, here's his
Liquor
thing.
always
They wanna
brought
put
his
you in a special
ugliness
school.
out.
So
And
for
I'd
me,
heard that argument
I was
so
so
many
far
times
behind
before.
in learning that their
It didn't
big
have
thing
much
was,
effect on me.
let's just put him in a special school
But when
because
he
he'll
started
never learn.
in on my mom, I
And
wasn't having
through that
any of it.
process of
Don't
like,
go there,
I don't want to be
I
in
said
a special
quietly. but
I
he
don't
didn't
want to be
care.
treated any differently.
He barked
It
about how
really-
everyone
like, I never
turned
took
on him
medication.
and how weak and
I've
sorry
never
we
taken
all were.
medication for this. That's
His
why right now
spittle
you see
flew.
me looking
The
right in
vein
your
in his
eyes.
temple
What the
throbbed.
hell is
Toughness,
is Truman saying right
please
now?
stop.
And that's why I don't feel bad
She
for
said.
people who
There was
have
something
ADHD,
in her
who have
tone,
learning
a
disabilities.
mixture of fear and
some
dread
are impossible
that I recognized
because you just
she wasn't
can't.
standing up and telling
a lot
him
of them
how
you
she
can.
felt.
And
She
but
was
people
pleading
don't
with
want to
him.
go through
They
the
reminded
process
me so
of
much of my
focus,
mother and how
of
powerless
teaching
she
yourself
felt
how to truly
when Toughness
focus.
would
This is where my
rage
message gets lost.
on and on.
It gets lost because I may say,
He was the type of
MF
guy
or F,
who would
you know,
call a
I mean,
woman over
because
the
that's
house
the
at
passion
3:55
that comes
p.m.
out of me, because that's
knowing my
it
mom
takes
would be
everything
coming
for
home
me
at
to
4
learn
o'clock.
a sentence.
He wanted her to catch them in
So when
the
I speak
act
about David
to show her
Goggins,
that he
I
had
can't
all
speak
the
about
power
David Goggins
and
in a
would
way
do
that's
whatever
just
the
calm,
he
cool.
wanted at any time
Because
of day
when I
or
wake
night.
up, I know the journey
It's
that
the
takes
same
me to
reason
find
he
my
beat me in
greatness.
front of her.
This is real,
and
dude.
did the same to her
This
in
is
front
real.
of me.
And
The very
every
same day we left,
I'm
Sue
set back.
moved
I'm
in,
set back. I'm
yet he
set
often
back. I'm
told
set
her,
back. So this is
and
what I would
anyone
tell your
else who
boy.
would listen,
This is
how
exactly what I
beautiful
tell
and
him.
smart my
Every
mother
day
was.
you wake up,
As
you're
if
gonna
she
probably
were
be
the
set
one who
back
got
for the
away.
first 4 weeks before you
He needed
lose
Sue to
just
feel she
significant
wasn't
weight
good
because
enough
of
for him.
the mind's
And
gonna
never
be full
would
time.
be.
There's no
For the first time
dopamine.
in my life,
There's no
I felt for
dopamine
Sue
in there.
and
300 pounds,
realized
you got
that
nothing.
Tronna's
Your hormones are
specialty was
shot.
the weaponization of
You
disrespect.
have to envision
It was a
something
tactic
that is more
he used to
powerful
bully
than
women
you.
and children
Something
into
has
submission.
to get you out of
He
bed.
knew that once he choked
And you
a
have to
motherfucker
create
out
it.
mentally,
It has to be
they would
false.
lose all their fights
you're not
in
it.
self-respect.
Every
which
morning
would make
starts
it
with a run.
easier to manipulate
And that's because that's the one thing I hate to do
That's
more
what
than
he was
anything
after.
in the world.
not love.
So that's
he
like my
craved
cup of coffee.
dominance and subservience.
And I'm all
It was
about
like
armoring
oxygen to
yourself.
him.
So
He harvested
the
souls
second you leave
with
your
violence
house,
and rage.
and the second
He
you
wanted
open
the
your
people
phone,
closest to him
the second you
to
do any
feel
of that,
wounded and empty.
you are now letting them poison and cancer.
Decades later,
So
my mother still
I make
struggles
sure
with
a lot of things you
self-respect,
can't avoid.
decision making.
So
and
as I get up,
Tronna's
I start
face
to
was
armor
red
plate
from
my
alcohol.
mind and body.
His
Like a
jaw
person's going to
clenched
war.
with
You put your
tension
body
as he
armor
kept
on.
talking to
That's
me.
what I'm doing on
There
that
was
run.
no doubt that he was the
I'm waking
bully
up
and abuser.
and I'm
I
giving
remembered.
myself
But not
all
because
this
he hated my
armor.
mom
So
or
when I
Sue
come out in the
or
world,
my brother
now,
or me,
look at that phone,
but because
I'm
he
ready.
was a sick,
I'm not
stuck
waking up
old
late.
man
I'm not rushing
who didn't
around.
believe
I'm
he
not
was worth a damn
disorganized.
and could not
Because I know
and
I'm
would
going to get
not
hit in the fucking
help
mouth.
himself.
There's an art
Years
to get hit
later,
in the fucking mouth.
I would learn that he had suffered abuse.
And that
when
is
he was a
why
kid.
these things are important.
His
You have to
father
wake
made
up
him stand
and
in front
you
of
have
a
to give
flaming
yourself
hot
belief.
coal furnace.
You have to
in a
give
dark
yourself
room.
confidence. So that, it
And
starts with
after
that
a
run.
torturous waiting
So
period,
after the
his
run,
dad would show up with a
I
belt
come home, I
and
eat something
lash
small.
him
How long's the
until
run?
his buckle
Typically
size
at the moment?
burst.
Nowhere
if he moved
under
away from
12
the belt,
miles.
he'd get burned.
So 12
so
miles
he had
is the
to
minimum.
accept his father's
And what are you getting that
lashes
done in? How long?
and try not to move.
It depends. Right now, I'm running
He
heart
never
rate,
dealt
so I'm
with his
doing
trauma.
like 8:15s,
Those memories festered into
8:30s,
demons.
because I'm
And
retraining
before
right
he
now.
even knew
What's
it
that?
had
Is that
happened,
zone 2 for you?
The
Zone
victim
2.
became the
Because
abuser.
of the late
Whenever
surgery
he
I
got
had.
drunk and
So
the party
I'm going
died
back,
down,
starting
he
from scratch. So
self-soothed
anywhere from
by
about an
picking
hour
on people
30
weaker
to 2
than
hours,
him.
I run every day.
He beat them up.
So
So
that's
you're
that.
fasted on the
ran
morning.
them down.
Yes.
Straight out.
Sometimes,
Straight out.
90 minutes to 2 hours of running. Back. Eat.
but as
Eat,
soon
and
as
I'm
the
in the gym.
abusive episode was over,
So,
he
and
would
then after
erase
that,
it from history. The
to
beatings we
whatever's
took never
on the plan
happened.
for the day.
He liked to think of
That's how
himself
that works every day.
as a
Are you
big
still
man,
doing your stretching?
but
Because you've
never
got 2
accepted
hours of
responsibility
every night.
for
2 hours of
anything
meditation,
that went
90
wrong,
minutes to 2 hours of running.
which didn't
How long's the
make
gym
him
session?
any kind of a
Depends.
man at all.
45
I
to an
suppose
hour
I
and a
was in
half.
that Denny's booth with him because part of me was hoping
Stretching,
Turnus would
meditation,
apologize,
run.
but he didn't think he had
Eat.
anything to be sorry for.
Gym.
He was straight up delusional.
Is something I'm missing,
and
Jennifer?
his delusions demoralized all of us.
Yeah.
They
Forgot
were
about that.
also
You cycle as well?
contagious.
How long are you cycling?
For
It
years.
just depends.
he made
I do
me
stationary
bleed.
bike right now a
And he
lot.
made me doubt.
What are you
so
using? Is it like a watt bike or
he
something
transferred
similar?
his
Yeah,
demons
something
to
similar.
me through
So
the
I
lashes
put
of
my
his leather
bike
belt
on
and
a
the open
like
palm
trainer,
of his hand.
and I cycle
And like him,
at least 3 or 4
I
days a
grew
week.
up
I'll do
believing
that.
in delusions.
So
I hadn't become an evil sociopath.
That's your day. There's
But
no,
like
there's
him,
there is no room for anything else.
I never took responsibility
Yeah, there
for
is.
my own shortcomings.
a lot of room. So
or
there's
my
24
failures.
hours, and I use
Sitting
it all
there
pretty,
listening to him rave
pretty well.
made my
How's your
blood
sleep?
run hot.
What's your sleep like?
It's
Sweat
really good.
beaded
Okay.
on my
It is
forehead.
now.
8 hours-ish?
And all I
something
could
like that?
think about
7,
was
8
payback.
hours. Yeah.
Well, you'd need to.
It was his
with that
turn
sort
to
of volume.
suffer at my
7, 8
hands.
hours.
And you're still
I
doing your
wanted to make
stretching
him bleed
stuff?
for
Every
my
night.
pain. I
So
wanted
you've got a
to beat
4-hour
that
block,
motherfucker
basically,
down
of
right
stretching
there
and
and
meditation?
get
Well,
him.
no, that's all in one
I
block.
was
combine the
hair
two.
trigger
Yeah,
close
that's
to
all.
allowing my
Cool.
father to turn me
Yep.
into a violent maniac.
That's one hell of a day.
Just
It
like I
is, and it's
remember
been like
him.
that for
He recognized
7
the
years.
fire in my eyes
you're a
because
fat
it was
piece
as
of
if he
shit,
were
and that's the
looking into
reality.
a mirror,
So you have to
and it
create
scared the shit out of him.
a
The
false
weather
reality
changed in
to
our
live
booth.
in that. Just
He stopped
get
ranting
to work
mid-sentence.
on yourself.
His eyes went
That's the
glassy and wide.
Because what I've
and in the
done
fluorescent
is
light of the
in
diner,
the
he looked
unseen
meek
work.
and small.
I built
I
Frankenstein.
nodded as I recognized.
So whenever
in
shit
that
gets
very
nasty,
moment, the lie
David
that
Goggins
inspired
goes,
my trip to Buffalo.
You had nobody anyway, motherfucker.
I hadn't
So see, I'm
driven
talking
all the
myself
way
now,
from
that's me.
Indianapolis as some first step towards
That shit fires me
self-improvement.
up. That shit makes
No,
me.
I was
we had
there looking
nobody
for a
anyway,
free
mother-
pass. I
There
went
was
to
no
collect
pain.
more
It
evidence
was you.
that all my
There was
many
no weight
failures
loss
and
program.
disappointments stemmed from the
Mom
same
and dad
root
waking
cause.
you up saying you can
My
do it,
father,
you can be better.
Toughness
Trying to
Goggins.
build belief.
I'd been
You built
hoping
belief
that
and you had
everything I believed
nothing.
all those
Rock
years was true.
bottom.
Because if Toughness was
You did that.
indeed
So
the devil
as
in
times get hard for
disguise,
me,
that gave me someone to blame.
the truth comes
and
out.
I was looking for a
And
cop
my
out.
truth is
I
powerful.
needed Toughness
It's
to be
real.
the flaw
It's tangible.
in my
I
existence.
feel it. It
in
comes
order
out
to
of my
claim the
brain as I
lifetime
speak about
warranty
it. I'm
on my
reliving
get out of
every
jail free
single
card.
dark moment
Toughness
of
was
my
flawed,
life.
all right. He
To
showed
be
me
here.
that all over again.
So
but he wasn't
that
my
is
flaw.
what people don't get.
The second voice was right.
That is
Unless
what
I took
motivates
responsibility
David
for my
Goggins is the
demons,
unseen work.
the ones he
Everybody
put on
needs
me.
that
I had
pat on
no
the back.
shot at becoming
They need
anything
that
other
training
than a
partner.
perpetual
They need
loser
that
or
accountability
another
coach.
miserable hustler like
hear that
him.
shit.
When the
And neither
food
do they.
arrived,
But it's what we
Toughness stuffed
trained
his face
ourselves to believe
while I
that we
reflected
need.
on how much power I'd given
You're
him
not
over the
looking
years.
at the truth in front of you.
It wasn't
the
his
truth in
fault.
front of you is it
I
sucks.
experienced racism
It's painful.
or barely graduated high
It's
school.
mind-numbing.
Yes, he beat
And
me
that is the
and my
truth.
brother up and tortured
And
my
that's
mother.
why a lot of
He
people
was a
don't like
fucked up
listening
man,
to me.
but I hadn't
Because
lived
this
with him
is what
since
it
I was
takes.
8
Creating
years
another
old.
voice and sometimes
When was I
going at
going
it
to
alone.
take my soul back from
All
him?
the time going at it
When
alone,
was I
because no
going
one's
to
gonna believe
own
it.
my own choices,
That's that.
my failures, my future?
This ain't you,
When
bro.
would I finally accept
That's the line that
responsibility
saves
for my
lives.
life,
That's
take
the
action,
voice that rips off
and
the
wipe
mask
the slate
and
clean?
dares you to become something
Nobody
more.
said a word
So let me ask
while
you,
I drove us back
when you're
to
gone,
Paradise Road.
when it's all over, and God or
Toughness
the
watched
universe
me
shows
with a
you
mix
that
of
chart of who
drunken
you could have been,
sadness,
will
loss,
you recognize
and
the
anger
man on that
as
paper?
I grabbed my
Or will
car
you look
keys
back
from the
and
kitchen
whisper,
counter
"Damn,
and walk straight
I
out
could
the
have
door.
been him"?
I'd planned on
You don't
spending
need
the
a
weekend,
hack. You
but
don't
I
need
couldn't
a hero.
stand to be
You need
in
to
his
start
presence
listening to
for
that
1
voice
minute
again.
longer.
The one that tells you, get
While
up,
the words
shut
were
up,
never spoken,
show up.
I
This ain't who
believe
you were meant to
we
be.
both knew
you weren't born to break.
that would be the
You were
last
born to
time we
become.
would ever see
that voice,
each other.
It's not your
The
enemy.
funny thing was,
it's the only part of you still
I didn't
fighting.
even hate
So the
Toughness
next time it
anymore
whispers,
because
this
I
ain't
finally
you, bro,
understood him.
don't run.
On the drive back
Follow
home,
it.
I turned the volume way down
I had to stop
on
giving
the
about
nurturing
people.
voice in my head.
That was the biggest
and
thing. I had to
tuned
stop
into
caring
reality.
what people thought about
In
me.
place of
I realized
excuses,
that everybody
it was time for
That's
ownership
the one thing
of
I realized.
exactly
I
who
walked
I'd
around
become
and I put these people
in
on a
all of its
pedestal.
ugliness.
Everybody was better
And
than
that
me.
meant
So I can't tell you
acknowledging
anything
that
about
my
me because you're
thin
going to judge me and I'm going to feel
was
even worse than what I
definitely
am.
part of the problem.
What I realized,
all of us
once I
are dealt
calmed my mind down
circumstances in
and
life.
sat back and looked
We don't
at how
have any
jacked up
power
this
to
world
control.
is. Once you realize that you are
Sometimes
not alone,
those
everybody
things
that's
are
talking
painful.
to you about how
Occasionally,
jacked up you are,
They are
only
tragic
thing they've done better
or
than you
inhuman.
is
While
they
the accountability
hidden
mirror,
their world
which I tagged
better
with
than you
sticky
have.
notes filled with
That's
real
all they've
talk,
done. So
daily tasks,
once I realized that,
and a few bigger goals,
if you want to sit back and
help
for
me
instance,
get
there's
to
all
a
these
certain
things that are on
point,
TV,
those
and we have all
fixes
these
were
news
surface
people
level.
judging
I
people
never
who feel
attempted
like-
to dive
yeah,
down
they made big
and
mistakes.
solve the root
But
cause
that
of my
person who was
problems.
judging you on
So
TV, I
crumbled
guarantee
whenever
you
life
that
asked me
news
to dig
person
deeper
and say,
and
I'm glad that
persevere
my shit didn't come
in
out.
order to achieve
But I'm going
something
to judge the hell out
that
of you.
could lead
I know
towards
that about
sustained
people.
success.
So if you want to sit back and judge how jacked up I was and how messed up
I'd
my life
spent
was,
my
Merry
entire
Christmas, go
life
for it.
in
Have a good
surface
time.
waters,
But I'm smiling
hoping
at
that
you
my
right now,
luck
knowing
would change
you
and
have a
everything
secret that you're
I
not willing to
dreamed
share.
of would fall
It gives you a
into
lot of
place for
power
me.
when you're able to go
That
on
night,
a podcast
on my
this big
drive
and say,
home
hey,
to Indiana,
tell
I
me, I'll
accepted
tell
the
you
hard
anything you
truth
want to
that
know.
hoping
I no
and
longer
wishing
care.
are like gambling on long shots.
And that
and
there's
if
a
I
lot of
wanted to be
power
better,
in that.
I had to
To be able
start
to put
living
your life
every
on
day
a billboard for the
with
whole
a
world
sense
to see
of urgency
and say, judge it, man.
because that is the only
Judge
way
it.
to turn
Like
the
just
odds
me talking
in your
about
favor.
it makes me feel good.
Reality
And
can
that's-
be a
and that's another
motherfucker
thing
when
about
all
it.
of your
When you
excuses
are
are
willing to
stripped
talk
away
about how jacked
and
up
you are
you are,
exposed for exactly who
the strength,
and what
that
you have
big
become.
rock that you carry,
But the truth can
it just
also
starts
be
to come off
liberating.
you. It just starts
That
to come
night,
off. That's
I
why I do it
accepted
so
the
often. I'm
truth
like, hey
about
man, I'll tell you
myself.
anything you want to know. I'm tired
I
of being
finally swallowed
afraid.
reality, and
I'm
now
tired
that
of
I
not
had my
telling you
future
shit.
was
I'm tired of lying
undetermined,
about how good I'm
anything
not.
was possible.
We tend to do the
as
things
long
that
as
are
I
easy.
adopted a new mindset.
And that is it
I
builds
needed
no
to
mental
become someone
toughness,
who
it builds no
refused
mental
to give
hardening.
in,
It builds nothing.
who simply finds a way no
You
matter
ever feel
what.
it? That whisper
I
in the
needed
dark,
to
that
become
quiet
bulletproof,
voice inside your
a
head
living
saying,
example
this
of
ain't
resilience.
you, bro. That
Think
voice
of a
doesn't
packet
lie.
of seeds
It knows
scattered
every
in a
excuse
garden.
you made. It knows every
Some
day you
seeds
hit
get
snooze,
more sunlight,
every mirror
more
you avoided,
water,
every
and are
goal you
planted
gave
in
up
nourishing
on, and it
topsoil.
still believes
And
in you
because
more
they're
than
put
you
in
do.
the right place
See,
at the
your
right
comfort will
time,
always beg you
they
to
can
stay
rise
soft.
from
But
seed
that
to
voice,
seedling
that
to
voice
a
drags you
thriving
toward the
tree.
pain, toward the
Seeds
truth,
planted
toward
in
the
too much
version of you
shade
that was written on your
or
soul before
that
the
don't get
world
enough
broke
water
you.
may
Most
never
people
become
drown it
anything
out.
at all
They let life
unless
sedate
someone
them.
transplants
Likes,
them, saves
distractions,
them
numb
before it's
comfort.
too late.
But you
Then
heard it. And
There
even
are
if you
those
didn't want to
seedlings
listen,
that
you
look for
knew.
the light on
the
their own.
answers are over there.
They
in
creep
that dark
from the
corner
shade into
where
the
no one
sunshine
claps,
without
where no one
being
sees.
transplanted.
When
They
you work
find
out,
it without anybody
working out
digging
is
them up
where
and
you can
placing
build
them
that the
in the
fastest.
light. They
'Cause
find
it's a
strength
constant- it
where
gives you
there
instant
is
feedback.
none. That is
Yeah, you
resilience.
may not lose the weight you want
Once
to real
we're born,
fast, but the
our
discipline
natural
it takes,
instinct
it
is to
transfers
look for
over
ways
to
to
all
thrive.
aspects of your
But
life.
not everybody does.
It's not people.
And sometimes
man, why are you always
there's a
working
damn
out?
good reason
stop,
for it.
Stop looking at that way.
I was brought up in
this
darkness.
is the foundation
My roots
of life.
were flimsy.
When you look
I
in
was
the mirror,
barely tethered to rock
every morning we all
hard
look in the
ground.
mirror to get ready to go to work.
My
To
spirit,
go anywhere.
soul,
the first thing you
and
see is your
determination
reflection.
weren't nourished
If you don't
in the
like
light.
what you see in the morning,
But
you
on
lost
that
the
ride
war
home,
already.
I realized
It's not
that
even
only
liking
I
what you
have the
see.
power to
It's about
determine
looking
my
in the mirror
future.
and you may start, man,
And I had
feel
a choice
different.
to make.
That
I
reflection
could
maybe
continue
not-
living in the
that
haven of
reflection's
low
not everything.
expectation,
It's a
where
feeling
it was
you're supposed to
comfortable and
get.
safe to believe that
So
my
you
life
have
was
to,
not my
in life,
fault
once you leave
or
your
my
house,
responsibility,
the war
and
begins.
that my dreams were just
in your
that.
house. You have
Fantasies
some control
that would never be,
and that reflection
because
in the mirror,
time
you
and
have to control
opportunity
that
were
reflection
not
in the mirror.
and would
That's how
never
you start
be
your day. If you leave your house
on my
feeling
side.
like, okay, I can
Or
fight.
I could leave
I've
all that
established the
behind for
mentality
a
to
world
fight.
of possibility.
And that, all that comes from working out.
Much more pain,
It's not just from,
unfathomably
you can't
hard
find that in
work,
the office.
and zero guarantees
People
of
will
success.
call you
I
obsessed.
could choose
They'll say you're
resilience.
extreme.
At
They
24
won't understand
years
why
old,
you're at the gym
a
after
powerful
13 hours
force
of
was
hell.
gathering within
Good.
me,
That means
waiting
you're
to be
doing it
unleashed.
right. Real greatness
I would
is
soon call
remembering
upon
every
it to
shot you
complete
missed,
2 hell
every
weeks,
time you held back,
become a
and
member
being
of the
haunted
SEAL
enough
teams,
to
and
never let that
complete
happen
Army
again.
Ranger School.
You're not training
I
for today.
compete
You're
in
training
ultra
for when
races
life punches you in the
and break
face.
the world
You're
pull-up
callousing your
record.
mind so when the
Thanks
2
to that
a.m.
one
call
night in
comes,
Buffalo,
you
New
don't
York,
fall apart.
when I
And if
accepted
you're
my
still
fate
waiting for
and
motivation,
became determined
stop.
to tap
There are
into
no
my
hacks.
resilience,
There's no savior
I
coming.
found the
There's
will
just
to
you,
transform
your pain,
myself
your
into
fear,
the grittiest
your choices,
motherfucker
and
ever
your
to
purpose.
find light
Oh,
where
wake
there
the hell
was
up.
none.
There's no
I had
soft
never
version of
been
this.
a pal
No shortcut.
like John
No
McCain
pity. No reset
countless
button.
others.
It's you versus
But
you.
I lived like
every
a prisoner in my
every
own
decision,
mind for the first
every
24
day.
years
and
of
if
my
you don't
life.
like that fire
Once
inside,
I've liberated
nobody's
myself
going
and
to
begun
do
to
it for
evolve,
you. So
I
shut
learned
off
that
the
it
noise.
is the
Kill
rare
the
warrior
excuses.
who
Get up.
embraces the
Disappear for
adversity of
6
being
months
born into hell,
and make your demons
and
choke
then
on
with
your
their
discipline.
own free will chooses to add
There's
as
a lot
much
of them
suck
out
as
there.
they can find
But most
to
of them are
turn
that
each
way
day
for one
into a
big
boot
reason.
camp of resilience.
They can't see themselves
Those are the
doing
ones
it.
who don't
They
stop
can't see themselves
at
doing
good
it. It's
enough.
one big reason. The other reason
They
is
aren't
a lot of it is
satisfied
jealousy.
with just being better
When you
than
set
they
these
used to be.
humongous goals, and they see
They
that you're
are
getting
forever
at it.
evolving
Let's say,
and
for instance, we have a
striving
family.
for
Let's say
the
we're all a big
highest
family
level
here.
of self.
All three of us,
Eventually,
all four of us are a big family.
I became one
and
of
every
them,
morning I'm getting up training for a 200
which is
mile
why
run.
I was honored
And
at
you
the
see me
Veteran
get up at 4
Convention.
o'clock in the morning, and all you are sleeping. And by the time I get done running my 30, I come home just getting up. How are you going to feel about yourself? A lot of times when you're an overachiever and you have people, that's what I talk about the mediocrity thing. A lot of our family members, a lot of our friends, they're mediocre. There's always those couple of guys who are uncommon, who want to be better. But you make that mediocre mother feel like shit. Whether it's your mom, your dad, whoever. You make them feel horrible. I've been there. I'm speaking from experience. When you get somebody around you, man, who's trying to be better and you don't have the drive that they have, it's a constant reminder of how fucked up you are. You have to know that that's what it is. Anybody in your course not saying, man, get after it, brother, I'm so proud of you, they have a problem with themselves. Because all you're trying to do is achieve more. If that's a problem for somebody, you have to look at them and say, man, you really have a problem with yourself, huh? It's much deeper than what you think.
Right.
It lies deep in your soul. How
You want the truth? Then sit down, because this isn't a highlight reel. This is the raw footage. Unfiltered, uncomfortable, undeniable. You're gonna be unhappy sometimes. You're gonna feel lost, weak, screwed up. That's human. But the power starts the moment you say, who am I really? What do I actually want from this life? Why am I afraid to admit the truth? Until you're honest with yourself, you're faking progress. See, people love the planning phase because it's safe. But execution? That's where dreams die. That's where you meet failure. And most people quit there. Because that's when it gets real. You want to get better? You're gonna have to go to war with yourself. Over and over. Run when no one's watching. Lift when your soul is tired. Study when your brain is broken. Work when it's boring. And fight when your spirit says stop. Not once, every damn day. You don't get the dopamine from likes. You get it from doing the work in the dark. 2 a.m. runs, empty gyms, No applause, no validation, just you in the mirror, fighting for belief. You say you want change, but when that alarm goes off, you roll over. You say you want discipline, but when it's time to suffer, you make excuses. You'll never change your life until you say, I don't care how I feel, this gets done. You don't need a plan, you need a mirror. And you need to dominate the voice that's killing your potential. The voice that says you've done enough. You deserve this break. Start Monday. You're not like them. It's too late. It's too hard. Lies. That voice isn't your friend. That voice is the enemy. Real growth, it lives in the places you hate, in the workouts you don't want to do, in the skills you think you're too dumb to learn, in the reps you want to skip, in the fear you won't face. And when your mind says quit, you say, because you said that, we're going double today. You don't need a new plan. You need to stop negotiating with weakness. You don't need a new gym. You need to show up in the one you already pay for. You don't need a new life. You need to master the one you're in. Be the one, not the 9, not the 80, not the 90 who spend their life wondering what could have been. Your alarm is your battlefield. Your mind is your opponent. Your standard is your sword. And discipline is how you win. Now go suffer and grow and suffer more until the weak voice dies and the warrior takes his place. When that alarm hits at 4 a.m., your mind says, no, it's too early, it's too cold, you deserve to rest. That's the moment you say, this is what we do now. You override your feelings because success doesn't care about your emotions. Discipline doesn't negotiate. The truth, you'll do 100 things you hate before you get one thing you love. That's the real price. And if you're not willing to pay it, you don't want it badly enough. Most people are targets. They show up to life unarmed. They're reactive, lazy, entitled. Out of 100, 10 shouldn't even be here. 80 are average. 9 do the real fighting. But only 1 becomes the warrior. And if you want to be that one, you have to live like no one else is willing to live. Life is hard either way. Broke is hard. Success is hard. Choose your hard. Choose the pain of discipline over the pain of regret. You've got 2% energy, the urgency of the elite who move fast. Act now and don't wait for perfect. The fear of staying stuck, miserable, and unfulfilled should scare you more than any risk. Change is scary, sure. Things might get worse before they get better. But that's the lonely chapter every winner goes through. You're not alone in that struggle. You're just ahead of the pack. So go all in. Be selfish with your time, your energy, your dreams. Put your oxygen mask on first. Get strong. Stack your money. Crush your goals. In 5 years, you could be unrecognizable, living a life others can't even dream of. If you want it bad enough, you'll fight for it, day and night, through sweat, fear, and opposition. Develop the quality of being unstoppable. When life falls apart, when the rent's late, when everyone's against you, stand up and say, nothing will stop me. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting despite it. Start today, take one step, then another. Don't wait for permission or the right moment. Go after your dreams with every bit of strength, faith, and grit you've got. Disappear, rebuild, and come back to show the world what's possible. You're not here to just exist. You're here to win. Let's go.